So I'm an ex-Jehovah's Witness, and I criticize Jehovah's Witnesses on this channel, so I get a lot of unenthused Jehovah's Witness comments on the channel. You know, people with some criticisms, some notes. Most of the comments I get are funny. What a senseless pile of verbal diarrhea. Abraham Lincoln once said, "It's best to keep your mouth shut and let people think you're stupid than to speak and remove all doubt." Incredible. This person used commas instead of quotation marks. Maybe it's like English isn't their first language. They put the quotation marks upside down in Australia. So I've made a few videos making fun of the comments, because usually they don't really bother me, like, emotionally, because I used to be a Jehovah's Witness, and I know that members of Jehovah's Witnesses are just victims of cult indoctrination, like I was. I know that they're just coming from like a place of confusion and misplaced anger. I direct my criticisms on this channel at the governing body, at the leadership, at the people who make the harmful policies that make this group a cult. But I'm making this video because I got my feelings hurt. I immediately went into my ironically detached, cynical shtick, but the reason why I wanted to make this little video is because I don't normally get a negative feeling when I see Jehovah's Witness comments. Like, obviously it's not like my favorite thing, but I'm mostly amused, and at this point, having done the channel for like 4 years now, I'm mostly just like inoculated against it. Man, someone did it. Someone got under my skin. And so I'm gonna read this comment and talk about my feelings. Oh no, why am I doing this? I'm doing this because I've stopped drinking. And the only acceptable alternative to drinking alcohol is talking about your feelings on the internet. I can already hear the comments like, well, that can be an unhealthy coping mechanism too. I know. I'm not here because this is healthy. I'm here because this is happening. I'm going to give some quick context, otherwise their comment won't make any sense. This is from my Why I Left Jehovah's Witnesses video. I, at some point, talk about how when you're in a cult, when you think that you have the truth, you think that in some sense you've been chosen. Because the truth is so much more all-encompassing than being correct. It is being correct and being chosen. It is being the vessel. It is being the channel that Jehovah is using. That's what it means to be in the truth. I don't know, I was just talking off the top of my head like I am right now, and that was the word that I chose. So this is from Joseph Feridu 3322. So their name rhymes, which is a strong start. I'm doing it again. Well, you are not chosen, and that is okay. You can be free with antidepressants, sucking dick, etc. Technically, it is easier for you to be happy because you only need vices. Some people are just NPCs to fill in the spaces in Earth for bodies with no soul. These are called hylics. So it makes sense you also assume others don't have souls. Truth is that not everyone is chosen, and some people are just flesh, which is obvious in your dead eyes and childish face, though. Let's take it as a given that I have no idea what hylics are. Like, I felt that feeling that you get when someone says mean shit to you. That really hits a nerve. I get a little triggered sometimes watching Jehovah's Witness stuff, but for the most part, I do this now all the time, and I don't really think about it. It's been a while since someone has said something and it just like hit in a way that I wasn't expecting, and I don't know why, because it is just another dumb comment. And yeah, like it's homophobic, biphobic technically. Bi erasure starts at bi people. I'm erasing my own existence. It is biphobic. And it's also just sucking dick phobic. What, you want to get it out there, Joseph, that nobody should be sucking dicks? I don't know if that's the kind of future you want, Joe. So it is homophobic or whatever. It's dick sucking phobic, but usually I get a lot of that too. That bothers me more than other stuff, it's true, but it also is one of those things where I'm like annoyed for a second, but I don't stop and think maybe I should record my thoughts. Now I know what you're thinking. Is he engaging in one of his vices And no, actually, I'm not. My only vice so far has been water. So I just thought I'd talk through my feelings. I literally, like, you can see that this comment was left an hour ago. But I saw this, I don't know, 15 minutes ago. I read it out loud to Christina, my wife, because she heard me go like, oh my god, and I just, like, saw my face fall. And I told her, I think I should record my reaction to this. I'm feeling some type of way. And she's like, you should. Because that's what she always says, because she's very supportive. Do you have a supportive wife? Joseph Diarrhea, or whatever your stupid name is? Now I'm doing it, so I'm not chosen, and that's okay. That part doesn't bother me, because I don't even think I would really use that word if I was, like, scripting the video. That was just something that came into my head. I mean, I think it's true that when you're in a cult, you feel like, oh wow, Jehovah chose me, drew me to him, and it gives you a sense of purpose, but I'm not upset that, like, oh no, now I know I'm not special. I always knew I wasn't special because I've always had low self-esteem. And also, he says it's okay. He says it's okay, so I don't even know why I'm bringing that part up. I can be free with antidepressants, sucking dick, etc. Now, here's where I'm realizing we are going to have fun, because this is an objectively very funny comment. Sucking dick, etc. Antidepressants, sucking dick, etc. That like etc. means like you understand. There's going to be more examples exactly like this, but antidepressants and sucking dick are very different things. Sound off in the comments on how they might be related. I had hurt my feelings because yeah, I have depression and I do take medication for it. And, you know, I don't do a lot of active dick sucking. I don't know why I said a lot, it just doesn't happen. But I am bi. As it happens, I'm not gonna go on the record. None of your business. Wouldn't you like to know, apparently, Joseph? It actually made me angry because so many Jehovah's Witnesses are on antidepressants. It's kind of a meme among elders, ex-elders, ex-Jehovah's Witnesses who were elders because they know the dirt on the congregation. And, I mean, I wasn't an elder, but I knew that literally everybody in my family had it, and that other people in the hall were on antidepressants. So it's kind of glass stones, small houses, and so forth. Sucking dick. Well, we've been over this. It hurt my feelings because it's one of my favorite activities, and he made it sound like it was bad. Technically, it's easier for me to be happy because I only need vices. Well, okay, it's just some real-time introspection for me. It's interesting that I just kind of impromptu, extemporaneously, Theocratic Ministry School book, brought up alcoholism of me earlier, because that clearly is what this triggered in my mind. It made me feel bad about the problem I have, which I don't think I actually talked about in this video even, because I was that. That felt bad. The NPC thing is very funny because one of the best XJWs came in, pitched a perfect season, and then retired. Like a legend, self-aware NPC. That was my first thought. If you're not aware, NPC stands for non-playable character. It's just like the background characters in a video game. And basically, it's an insult people use on the internet to be like, you're just a robot. You've been programmed. Okay, the Heilig maneuver. I guess I should look up Heilig, huh? I should look up what that is. Heilig's definition. What does Heilig mean in Gnosticism? Oh my god. The lowest level of human thought. The fleshly, instinctive level of thinking. Heilig. I feel like I'm learning a little something about this guy. He's saying Heilig's, which is this Gnostic, apparently from Gnostic Christianity, which is kind of rising in the MAGA movement, and NPC is not necessarily right-wing coded. I just I see that more in that space, and so I'm wondering, well, that and combined with the homophobia make me think, maybe this is a conservative person generally. But that's interesting, right? Because this is obviously a Jehovah's Witness, and there will be more proof later. So this person is using phrases that are kind of associated with a political ideology. And that's interesting because witnesses aren't supposed to do that. They're supposed to be politically neutral. But another thing they're not supposed to do is comment on videos like this, let alone watch them. And this person did at least watch enough to hear me say the word chosen. I definitely get like conservative people in my comments who just don't like that I'm gay and advocate for like LGBTQ people, and they'll say that, you know, they'll call me woke or whatever. But this person is obviously upset because of the XJW thing. They're upset, not the SJW thing. They're upset because I'm talking about witnesses being wrong, and maybe not even. I mean, I think that video, I tried to make it about why I left and not why it's like objectively wrong, because I wanted witnesses to feel comfortable watching it. One reviewer seems to have not felt comfortable watching it, and yet watch it they did. But witnesses also, they do believe in the concept of a soul. They just believe that the body is the soul. So it's not like Jehovah's Witnesses don't believe that people have souls. They just believe that they are souls.
We're allowed to show him nude because they ain't got no soul.
And also, I don't think that's true about me. So wait a minute, I think I could say authoritatively, that's not true. I don't believe in a soul in the biblical sense, I guess, because I don't believe in the Bible. But in the esoteric way, I think I do believe in a soul. Now, because I read this comment and learned that some people don't have them. The thing that bothered me the most was just the cruelty of it. This final thing he says, not everyone is chosen, and some people are just flesh, which is obvious in your dead eyes and childish face, though. I think the reason why this bothered me is I am often very ironically detached on this channel, and that video where I talk about how I left is, I think, one of the few times where I'm pretty earnest about myself and things that I've had to deal with, and the whole point was to show that I do have a soul, and not just me, but like people who leave the witnesses. That was really important to me when I first started feeling comfortable doing research on YouTube, was watching XJWs tell their story and realizing that they were just people, and that they were just talking about their experiences. And there's nothing apostate or satanic about somebody telling what their experience was. Like, take the truth out of the equation. Worst case scenario, you just think that I'm incorrect, that you just think that I shouldn't have left the group. To watch any part of it and say that I'm just flesh, yeah, that's pretty, yeah, that did make me feel bad. Now that I've talked about it though, I feel alright, and I've been able to laugh at it, so I feel a lot better. But the reason why I thought this was worth highlighting, for me, I had a very positive experience with Jehovah's Witnesses, with some asterisks, 3 hours worth. I mean that in the sense that the people that I knew, for the most part, were very kind and three-dimensional people who were not cruel to me. I felt like the congregation that I grew up in really was like a family, and the people who really felt like family were my family. All my family are witnesses, and the JW thing is they're one blind spot, but I don't view them as cruel people. One of the things I've had to learn since leaving and watching other people's stories is just how much worse so many other people had it. I was very privileged. Alright, sorry, woke Jake's coming out. I had white male privilege just generally, but obviously this is a patriarchal group where men not only have more power, they have the only power in the organization. And because I came from a family of witnesses going way back who were respected in the area, I had an easier time becoming a ministerial servant. I didn't have to deal with the pain that I've heard other men talk about who have left Jehovah's Witnesses, where they try earnestly for years, but they deal with these cruel, petty elders who just let personal differences get in the way and won't let them become a servant. They won't let them do more free labor for Watchtower Bible and Tract Society. To say nothing about women in the group who have to deal with so much cruelty and dehumanization. Even like a woman's best experience in the group is them being a second-class citizen, quite literally. They are the weaker vessel. There's the main kind of vessel, which is a man, and then there's the weaker one, which is a woman. They're not allowed to do the stuff that men do. They're not allowed to have authority in the congregation. And that's best case scenario. There are people who have had horrible, horrendous experiences. I'm recording this in a week where there's just been 2 more big arrests because of CSA within Jehovah's Witnesses. I mean, talk about cruelty. I'm here complaining about a fucking comment on YouTube. I say this because it is absolutely true that witnesses are victims, but the leaders have a real cruelty to them. They say disgusting, cruel things all the time.
Sexual perversion, such as homosexuality, is called an alternative lifestyle.
Which is why I have zero problem making fun of them.
This is my son, a handsome man, whom I fuck for no reason.
They're awful human beings with an insane amount of power over millions of people, and they're disgusting and mean. And that filters down. Every nice Jehovah's Witness that you know is like that in spite of the cruel doctrines that they are taught. And of course, all witnesses are capable of cruelty because all of them are clearly capable of shunning. And the ones who aren't, leave. Homophobia? That's not optional if you're a witness. That is a mandated belief. And there are a lot of witnesses who were like me, who even before I accepted my identity, I still just thought it was wrong because I knew gay people from school and the media that I was consuming, and I just knew that it was wrong to be dehumanizing and suggest that they should change, and then that would be moral, and that a real paradise would contain 0 gays. So there are a lot of people like that who just privately don't agree with the policy, but obviously have to preach and affirm homophobic ideals. But there are a lot of people who are just gleefully homophobic. They hate gay people, they hate trans people, they hate anybody who is different than them, and that's because that's how the leaders are, that's how they talk. We're gonna be destroyed. If I can pretend to have had a noble reason for making this video other than pure petty complaininess and wanting to put out a video because it's taken a while to release this next one, I think it's that there's also genuine cruelty. There's some just actual meanness that happens as a result of indoctrination, and sometimes it just allows people to lean into the worst parts of themselves. But I also thought, like I was saying earlier, I do think most of these comments are misplaced rage, just people who are really upset that they are encountering critical information. Your witness identity is it's the only identity you have. It's not possible to just passively hear criticism of a doctrine because all of it is your identity. It is the truth, and you are in the truth. And I think that it's possible that it's just that right now, Joseph Emu 3322 is in that position, and that this time next year I get a real funny email from a certain Joseph. He's like, hey, I'm the guy you made a video about. And that's the future I want to live in. So I guess I'm putting this out there to mark my territory, to take a big piss all over Joseph and claim him as my own. All right, but there is kind of a happy ending. This guy had left a couple comments in a row, and he left the previous one that said, he still lives rent-free in your mind, though. Well, he's referring to Stephen Lett. Stephen Lett announces Jehovah is dead. It was just a funny poop edit that I made, but he's like, oh, but Stephen Lett still lives rent-free in your mind. I literally pay my rent with the videos that I make making fun of Stephen Lett. So, he's paying me now. I'm the captain now, Joseph.
This is my son, a handsome man, whom I fuck for no reason. And he's so nice. And my brother and I are just having an affair. There's an attraction between ourselves, and the budding homosexual romance is fucking good.